To talk to us. Always a pleasure to hear him speaking. But just before Dan comes on, I wanted to make a presentation every month. Well, just about every month, we try to recognize one of our leadership individuals that has done an outstanding job. You know, one of those people that goes above and beyond, a great team player, just an all-around, you know, good person. And believe it or not, we do have quite a few of those. So we try to recognize those individuals each month, if at all possible. And we do that through the presentation of what we call a Patriot Pin. This is a national pin that our national organization authorized for us to do, for us to use. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to present our selection for the Patriot Pin for the month of March. And it goes to District Captain Chris Kakakis.
Well,
Chris, congratulations. Well, I'll let you just say a few.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh, you want to get a picture?
Well, thank you, I guess would be the first appropriate thing to say. I really appreciate this, and this means a lot. Coming from National and my peers and so forth, I'm very excited. I'm a new active member at COS. I first signed on in September. Became a district captain October. So I got to my studying right away and wanted to get to work. And I'm up in Northwest Indiana in Maryville, and that's a tough nut to crack. But guess what? We're putting some cracks in that nut already. And so there's a lot of us up there working hard like the rest of you, and we're going to make a difference, okay? Now and in the future. So I really appreciate this award, and I will certainly do everything I can to continue to be worthy of it. Thank you very much.
I think everybody here is pretty much aware that right now our legislators are besieged on a daily basis by lobbyists and beholden to campaign cash, and that our opinions are becoming less and less heard simply because of a system that makes us unhearable. And so in the middle of summer, I started beating the Convention of States Organization, begging, cajoling, that we become the first member of a coalition of different groups who would be pushing for a way to fix our legislators so they could not dodge debate. And I think it's important for us to understand, when we see a mediocre or lousy bill get passed, it's not that a good one never got proposed. It's just that that good bill was stifled and never got its debate and never got its vote, so that we could never actually tell what the positions of our legislators were. This is all determined by rules of the House and the Senate, which give great concentrated power to the Speaker, who can farm it out to a committee chairman and make sure that those things never get through. And that means that those people become targets of these lobbyists, who can then frighten them or bribe them, whether it's carrots or sticks, into representing their interests instead of the constituencies that they represent. So to that end, I'm happy to say Convention of States just approved this motion to become a founding member. This has actually grown to the CCIA now has 8 member organizations. It is growing quickly. And what we're proposing is to change the rules of the chamber so that people can no longer hide from the responsibilities they have to represent their constituencies. We have a lot of education due, because most people are not aware how the rules work. They don't know what first, second, and third reading is. For those of you who don't, whenever a bill gets filed, it's required by the Constitution of Indiana to have 3 readings. The first one, at which it gets assigned to a committee. That committee chairman then may, if he wants to, give it a hearing. At that hearing, it can be amended, and then it goes to second reading, which is where the entire chamber can choose to amend it. And if they do or don't choose to amend it, if it survives that vote, then it goes to a third reading, where it has to be voted yes or no without any further amendments. Anytime in that process, a procedural objection can be made in the chamber, which can keep that debate from occurring. And that procedural objection right now is decided by the leader of the chamber or the chairman of the committee. So these two people, the committee chairman and the leader of the chamber, can keep any good bill from being debated. The 3 rules changes we want to start with to make a legislature so that it's more accountable. We want to make it so that committee chairmen are chosen by the committee, not by the speaker of the chamber, the leader of the chamber. That way their power is beholden to a group of people, not to one man. We want to make it so that all procedural objections to stop debate and voting on a particular motion require an immediate vote of the chamber. That way no legislator can hide from the fact that he chose to kill a good bill and kept it from being discussed. And lastly, we want to make it so that there are creations of what are called discharge petitions, so that when a legislator files a bill, he also files a discharge petition that when signed by 40% of the committee or 40% of the entire chamber forces that bill to have a hearing whether the committee chairman wants it to have a hearing or not. And in that way we can actually overcome the power of a recalcitrant committee chairman, and we can also hold accountable every legislator who does not sign that discharge petition and therefore shows his position on any bill. And in that way they can be held accountable.